His onstage presence of his actually creation, which he calls the Cube, is unbelievable. I've actually been to a deadmau5 concert and or show, and it was just like an incredible experience. The music, the vibes, the presentation that he puts out is really the best. So we actually hooked up through Twitter and through our friends at Nvidia. He found out about us through Nvidia, and he asked, like, "Hey, who's MAINGEAR? Can you hook me up with those guys? I need some systems for my studio." It was kind of funny. The day that he reached out to me, I was actually in a conference room, and I get this call. "Hey, what's up, Wallace?" And I'm like, "What's up? Who's this?" He's like, "Oh, it's Joel Zimmerman." I'm like, "Joel Zimmerman, like deadmau5 Joel Zimmerman?" He's like, "Yeah, man. I need some systems. Can you hook me up?" So I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely. We can spec it out your way. We can design the systems from the ground up for you." For his MAINGEAR Rush, he actually was very specific about the color. He wanted the system to match the color of his GT3 Porsche, which is pretty cool. And he's like, "Look, can you match the color of my Porsche?" And I said, "No problem." He sent over the color code. We're able to actually mix that color up right here in our body shop, our in-house body shop, and we made that thing beautiful. It matched perfectly, and the system turned out wonderful. So we obviously, because Joel was visiting MAINGEAR, I gave him a full tour, and he was quite impressed. He told me that when he started in his younger days, he started doing the same kind of things we were doing, except he was just fixing computers. And he was impressed with the facility. He was impressed at the way we conduct our business and the way we keep our facilities clean, and even the theme of our facility, right? Because we're car guys. And he felt it right away. He's like, "Wow, man, this is pretty cool." He noticed the mechanic parts. He noticed how the systems were being built, one man, one machine, and he was into it. He loved it, and I'm glad he did, because it's important to have a great product, but it's also important to tell the story of how that product came about, and I think we do that really, really well. He does a lot of his rendering in-house, and he does it himself, believe it or not. So he's actually using one of the systems to render and also to game, right? So that's his main workhorse. That's the system with the quad titans in it. That specific system, like I said, it's going to be used for Octane render, and whenever he's not rendering with it and working with it, he's going to play some games and do some live streaming from that system. And the second machine is going to be used to power his studio. He's actually going to use it to edit some of his tracks, and it'll be just his secondary workhorse. So one of the things that we do is we actually have a dual pump system for his liquid cooled system, right? So if one pump goes down, the second pump is still, pumping away that water and dissipating all that heat through the radiators. So that way he never has any downtime. Another thing too, having dual pumps in a Rush actually minimizes the speeds that we run the pump at. So it's basically less friction. The pumps are going to last longer. They're going to run quieter. Another thing too is we actually use non-porous tubing, right? So this tubing on the liquid cooling system is actually used so the water doesn't dissipate as quickly as some regular tubing out there. And we also have quick disconnects. So if he has to service the computer or upgrade it, he's able to quickly, without having to drain his loop, able to remove that video card or that CPU, replace it with a faster one or newer one. The Rush that we built for deadmau5 actually has a metal hardline tubing. Not only does it look beautiful, so it's aesthetically pleasing to look at, it just looks like a hot rod when you actually look at the inside of the system, but it's also very functional. So the hard pipes actually help with the heat dissipation from the GPUs and the CPUs at the same time. So you get a much more efficient system all around. And like I said, it's much more efficient, but it's also beautiful to look at. And he was really excited about that. He just said, "Hey, I want this hardware," but he didn't know what we're gonna do with that hardware. And then when we delivered, it was actually great to actually see the expression in his face, and he was just really happy to see it. So it's pretty cool. So we like two things, right? We obviously love music, but besides the music thing, we love cars, and we love the PC gaming culture. So the conversation went on. He actually happens to be a Porsche fan, so am I. He happens to own a lot of cool cars, and we got to talk about that, including my dream car, which is a McLaren P1. But look, it's pretty awesome. The conversation went on really easy because we have similar interests. He's just a dude that happens to be really talented at what he does, and that happens to love cars and the PC gaming culture, PC Master Race culture.